Okay, in this last module, we are going to talk about dealing with unkind kids. And we spent all of lesson 4 talking about this, how to help our kids through this, but it bears repeating because when dealing with other kids, this is a massive part of it. Peer interactions, not everyone is going to be kind. And it can be really hard to explain this concept to our kids, especially our kids who are so kind already. They don't know why someone else is mean to them. They don't understand it. They don't understand that sometimes people are in bad moods or some people just aren't as kind. And as parents, it can be really frustrating because other kids don't receive the same message that we're giving our kids. And it can be really frustrating that other families don't make an effort to teach kindness and they don't make an effort to expect kindness. But as we all know, there are unkind people in this world and they're raising unkind kids because it's a learned behavior. Kindness starts at home. So if kids aren't getting that message at home because their parents aren't kind, those kids are going out into the world and being unkind to our kids. And it's okay. Our kids need to know how to deal with this when the stakes are low, when we can walk them through it. When someone calls them a bad name or is excluding them, we can help them figure out how to deal with that now so that when they're dealing with unkind adults and they're an adult and it's later on in their life, they'll have the tools they need to stand up for themselves, but not let it change who they are themselves. One question I get often asked is if another child has been unkind to our kid, mean to them, do we have to tell our kid they still need to be kind to this other child? The answer is yes, and here's why. Comes down to why we have chosen to be kind. We've chosen to be kind because it feels good, because it makes us a better person. It's what we've decided to do. And being kind is not contingent on how other people act and on how other people treat us. We're kind because that's who we are in our core. And so we do not need to get walked all over. We do not need to be a doormat. We don't get to be stepped on. We don't need to go out of our way to make their lives easier, but we're not going to be mean to them. So yes, we're still going to be kind because a kind thing is to not be mean back. So we can only control our own actions, our own words. We can't control what other people are doing. And this is really important for our kids to understand because there are going to be unkind people all around them all the time. But again, they don't have to be a doormat. They don't have to take it. They can be kind to themselves and they can walk away. So a lot of those strategies we talked about in lesson 4, but a real quick recap when it comes to dealing with peers, we need to tell our kids they can walk away. They can ignore the behavior, they can walk away, they can go spend time with kinder people. Those friends that we built up for them, that we talked about in this lesson about friendships, we spend time with them. We avoid spending time with these kids. We can also be practicing and instilling a confidence in them that they can stand up to these kids who are unkind to them. We can tell them, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to say stop. You're allowed to say, you can't treat me this way. And again, if it's a friend who's doing it, this is really hard for our kids. But we can practice with them. We can give them the confidence they're going to need to stand up to a friend who is maybe forgetting to be kind. Okay, we can help them get help. We've talked about tattling versus telling. They need to know that if somebody is being unkind over and over again, they're getting hurt. They need some adult help. And then lastly, we need to be that safe space for them. And we've talked about this. We are that safe place. They can come and tell us. We can empathize. And this is crucial that when the stakes are low, we listen and we hear even the smallest of grievances that they're struggling with. Give them the tools that they need. That must have felt really, really bad. You must feel embarrassed or frustrated or angry. Or once they have those words, how do you feel? How did that make you feel? I'm so sorry you had to go through this. That's really, really crummy. What do you want to do next? And then maybe give them suggestions if they don't know what to do next. But give them these kinds of tools that they can deal with the unkindness in a positive and healthy way. Somebody being unkind to you doesn't have to change who you are. Because again, our kids are going to be surrounded by unkindness. It's just the way it goes. We can keep spreading our kindness and more people are remembering to be kind more often. But they're going to be surrounded by unkind roommates and unkind classmates and unkind bosses and landlords. People are going to push and shove on the street. It's just the way that it goes. But if they have these tools, it won't change who they are. They'll stay kind and deal with the unkindness in a positive and healthy way for themselves without getting walked all over.